welcome to tonight's episode of Beyond Focus TV. I'm Lydia Patel, and as always, I have a very special guest for you, Mr. Titus, who's one of the owners of the amazing restaurant Pa-Nash right in Queens. He'll be with us for the next 30 minutes, so stay with us. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. Beyond Focus TV allows you to discuss contemporary topics affecting the Caribbean people on both a national and local level. The show features informed guests who offer insight, debate, and evaluate various issues. Beyond Focus TV builds on the station's mission to provide useful information to the Caribbean people in New York and abroad. Beyond Focus TV, where our viewing audience can get educated, informed, and empowered. Welcome back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. I'm Lydia Patel. And like I said, I have a very special guest for you. If you love Caribbean fusion food, well, this is the man right here, Titus, who's one of the owners of Pa-Nash in Queens. Welcome to the program.
Well, thanks for having me. Appreciate being here.
Great to have you here because you know what? Pa-Nash has been doing some great things. I've had the pleasure of visiting Pa-Nash a couple times before I even got to eat the food, and I was just blown away by the decor of the place. So I have to say, big kudos to that because there's not a lot of restaurants that actually take all the pride in making the place look astonishing. I think that's a part of the vibe. That's a big part of the ambiance is, you sit and you dine and you have a great space.
Well, how was the food when you actually tasted it?
When I did taste it, it was really, really good.
You're just saying that for the camera's honest?
No, honest.
Okay,
I love it.
Just want to make sure.
It was really, really good. I was surprised by the menu.
Why?
Because of the fusion. You really do fuse cultures together, and I like that.
Yes, my boss, who was actually my wife, my partner in
crime.
crime.
Happy wife, happy life.
Oh, absolutely. Most men, and a lot of men need to know that. It's cheaper to keep her. So,
Noted.
So, my wife wanted something upscale, more in the community, instead of people driving all the way to the city, Long Island, different part of Queens. So we wanted something really upscale in our own community.
And you hit it. I was really surprised, and shout out to Miss Sharon Devonish-Lead, who is the one who introduced me to Pa-Nash.
Thank you, Sharon.
Yes. One of a dear friend and partner of mine, and we had a Vera Moore anniversary event there. Fantastic. I mean, the lounge space below is so fantastic. I loved it, and then to actually see the dining experience. So, give us a little bit of background on Titus and stuff. Who are you, and what were you doing before Pa-Nash?
Well, what we were doing before Pa-Nash, I actually worked for myself pretty much from a teenager. I was driving limousine, owned my own limousine company, opened a mechanic shop. After that, 9/11 put me out of business. We were selling cars from there, so still sell cars up until today. I have my used car business. And my wife was corporate America, so she wanted a restaurant, but she wanted a franchise.
Okay.
So we started with a Golden Cross about 14 years ago. We have a Golden Cross in Queens Village.
Okay.
And from having the Golden Cross, and it's a family thing with her families, all of them cook very well. She wanted something. And so from Golden Cross, we opened Pa-Nash. And we've been there 5 years now. In 2015, we had a 5. We were out for a couple of months, but
overall it was good.
Overall it's good.
So that's interesting because, you went from, how was it going, transitioning from a franchise where you're basically operating under their name and their advertising. And Golden Cross is internationally known. Everyone knows Golden Cross, especially within the community, everybody knows Golden Cross. But to go from that to then basically where you get to dictate the menu and you do that, how was that transition?
It was not, because then there's a demand out there and people, well, can't even say people of color, everyone wants something different. So that's why we came up with the name Eurosoul. And when I said we, I'm not taking any credit for it. My wife came up with the word Eurosoul of fusing these Caribbean, African soul food together and create the menu.
Absolutely, and it makes a lot of sense. So, of course, a lot of people want to know, what does the name Pa-Nash mean?
Elegant and class. But it's spelled P-A-N-A-C-H-E. We just break it down, look in the dictionary, and it said P-A-N-A-S-H. So we name it Pa-Nash. Our biggest drawback with the name, most people when they see Pa-Nash Restaurant and Lounge, they'll walk past and not necessarily come in because they think it's an Indian restaurant. But once you get them through the door and they see the decor and taste the food, you got them.
Absolutely. And I mean, you can't really tell from the outside all what's on the inside. I kind of like spots like that because I've been disappointed. You know, it looks great from the outside, and then you actually taste the food, you're like, it's all right. But, you know, you guys have been doing a great job with actually switching it up, coming with something different. So let's talk about the Eurosol menu before we get into their new feature, which is brunch, by the way. Let's talk about how did you actually make the menu selection?
Well, let's just put in some food together and fuse it. We had a executive chef and sat down in the beginning and see what we want for this restaurant, and we just try some things, fuse it, and most of it work out. And so that's creative.
What didn't make the cut that you tried out? Because I have a couple of friends who are in the restaurant business, a couple of chefs even, and before you actually make the final cut, let's say you would have selected maybe 10 different items, and you go through the process where you're tasting, even with the cocktails. So what are some things that almost made the cut that might be potential things for later? You're like, I'll table this for now.
Well, about 5 things that make the menu that I wanted.
Right.
But my boss think rather that it shouldn't, and I have to, because I made the cuts as different people. You're bringing about 20, 30 people, and everybody tastes something, and they you write down their opinion of what they think about it. Exactly. And once the majority love it, it will pass. It will go ahead and get on the menu.
And become a menu item.
Yes, definitely. Just like a cocktail. I can't create a cocktail and don't let anyone taste it and start selling it. I don't know the majority of the people going to love it. They have to love it or like it, and they will come in and order it continuously for it to make the cut.
And that's exactly how it has to be sometimes.
Yes.
You have to go through that research and test what people like. So I'm sure those who got to be your testers were definitely more than satisfied.
Yes, but some of them voted some of the stuff that I wanted out. I can't even remember all of them, but like some stuff that I wanted, no. The rest of the stuff they approved. As I said, about 5 things didn't make the cut. So those friends who I fed for free didn't
Still
vote
voted against you.
No, but it's fine. Honesty is the best policy. So
it really is.
Their palate wasn't like mine. So they...
Well, what is more your palate style?
Well, you know what? My favorite meat is pork. And most people are eating healthier now. So that's my favorite. I'm not fussy about fish. I mean, the fish at Pa-Nash, like about roast fish, and people come in and order it and brown stew.
See, I don't eat meat, so I've had to...
Yes, you know what I mean. But my favorite meat is pork, and I can cook it so much different way. And I'm not a chef, but I'm an excellent cook.
And that was actually going to be one of my other questions, because a lot of people, even if they may not... A lot of people who open up a restaurant, the majority have some background in cooking. So I was going to say, are you able to make a few of the items? If ever you're in a situation, can you go in there and make most of the items?
Well, only in any business that you're going, and if you don't know how to do it, you have to start from the toilet all the way up. You have to clean do everything. Bartender, busboy, name it. Whatever that business requires, you have to know how to do it. And I'm an excellent cook. You understand me? I can cook every item on our menu.
I love it. Well, hold that thought. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. I'm Lydia Patel. So Titus, right before we took a break, you were saying that you can actually make everything on the menu.
Absolutely.
Which I love that. Because that also shows, like you're saying, you have to be able to do every job or every duty.
Every duty that requires.
Because you can't expect others to do it.
No, because, in business, or when you own a small business, anybody own any kind of business know finding the right staff and the right people. Everybody want money. They don't necessarily want to work for it. So you have to do it yourself, and I can make every cocktail in that bar too.
See?
You understand me? So you have to know how to do it. The good thing about my youngest son, who's 20 years old, is at Johnstonville for the last 3 years. He's, and when I have him there in the summer, it's priceless. It's so good. But he's coming home November, school finish. You got to pay me back that school fee.
He is working off that fee.
Every summer he come, he have to work from school.
But that's good.
Yes.
And you have to invest. I think at the end of the day, it's an investment in his. It's a family business.
Absolutely. When this was created, that will leave something for our kids. We
It's
have
a
two
legacy.
sons. You have to create wealth for generation to come. You can't just think
Generational wealth.
Yes, you can't just think about yourself.
It's so important. I think if we start, more people like yourself start to get in that mindset, because I see too many people, even younger people, everything's Gucci and Fendi and Louis. Okay, are you going to be able to leave that? You can't even leave that. Or on the flip side, with girls who everything's getting their body done, what are you going to leave your kids?
Zero.
That butt cheek?
nothing.
Like, what are you going to do? You can't.
Well, I don't see those people because I don't look at people who have anything fake on. You know what I mean? Because God created everybody. Whatever you have work with, if that man or that female don't like you because it's not for you,
Right.
move on.
And that's a really good work ethic. So he's getting involved in the business. Does he
Oh, yes.
like that aspect of the business?
As a matter of fact, at a young age, I thought he wanted to become someone in the forensic. So I tell him, to really do that, you have to go to NYPD to really get a hands-on and learn. And then all of a sudden, he got up one day. I mean, we didn't even think about Pa-Nash then. It was only Golden Crust. And he said he wanted to be a chef. So he's a chef. And he wanted to go to Florida to Johnstonville. And I said, well, that's a party school. You're going to Johnstonville in Rhode Island. And then I can just drive up right away.
Go get you.
Oh, you know those Caribbean parents.
It's a 4-hour drive. I'll be there in 2.5.
Yes, I will.
That's so funny. But you have a really good work ethic, and I like that you instill that into the family. What has been one of the challenges that you would say for Brooklyn has changed, New York has changed, everything is just growing for the good overall. But what would you say has been one of the challenges as a business owner?
Finding good people to work, who are willing to work and be professional when anything they do. If you're cleaning the floor, just be professional. You understand? Most of the time, as a Caribbean person, you go to a Caribbean restaurant and people there, what do you want? No, that's not how you approach people, because without those people, you don't have a business. I don't have a business, so you don't have a job. So it's customer service, so finding the right staff, finding people, and everywhere around this world is the same problem.
I think that's a big issue, and there have been skits done joking about it, but there's a lot of truth.
It is.
They gripe at you, they don't want to smile, they put opening hours that they'll open at that time, they never have, and that's a very and then people want to know why you don't support Korean restaurants, because a lot of times I don't feel wanted.
I know, but then again, if you come in and have a problem in anybody's business, you find the owner or management and complain about it, because not necessarily, let's say for instance you're not in your business and maybe you have a regular job and you have a business, but you're not there during the day and you don't know what goes on. There's something we need to put there, something that you can complain, because not necessarily the owner knows. So you need a manager, a supervisor in place to get that, and you just have to get rid of these people because they're just not good for business. They're not good at all, because everybody needs to smile. Welcome to Pa-Nash. You understand me? Good morning, good afternoon, whatever it is, time of day. You have to be polite. And you know the saying? Even when the customer is wrong, they're right. The customer is never wrong. Never wrong.
I don't know.
No, they never wrong. They never. Let's say, for instance, you come and you order something, you don't like it.